Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Bluehost tutorial video. Today we're taking a look at DuckPanel's Backups Manager. When you have a server with Bluehost, you're able to utilize the backup system for completely free. It utilizes an incremental backup system, which means after you back up your server once, subsequent backups will take less time to complete because it's only going to have to save and upload the files that were changed since the last backup. Backups are also taken at an offsite server location for security purposes. For these backups, you can later restore them, you can also download them, or you can mount the backup to your Bloom file system if you want to restore specific files. You can also back up MySQL databases if those are associated with your server, as long as they are under 1 GB in size. Every Bloom server can generate up to 3 backups in a 20-hour period. Depending on the server plan you have, you can store a different maximum amount of backups. If you have an Essentials plan, you can store a max of 3 backups, Performance plans can store 5, and Performance Plus plans can store 10. Okay, let's talk about how to take a manual backup of your server. So I'm over here in the Backups tab of DuckPanel, and you'll notice that our offsite backup manager here is empty because we have no backups currently stored for this server. So let's go over to Create Backup. We can name the backup if we want to, otherwise it'll just give it a default name that has the date and time provided when the backup was taken. And there's a little locked option down here. If we toggle this on, it will prevent the backup from being deleted until the backup is unlocked. What this means is that if you have an automatic backup system set up, or you go to create a backup and it's full, the oldest unlocked backup will automatically be deleted. So we can toggle this on if we want this to be manually saved. I'll keep it off for now, and we'll hit Start Backup. And right here we can see that our backup with the date and time provided is archiving. Down here we can see the amount of backups stored for our server and the amount of backups created in the last 20 hours. So now that our backup is completed, we can see the completed backup here, along with how large the file size is. Depending on if this is the first backup you've taken and also how large or small your server is, it might take various amounts of time for your backup to complete. Now, before we go over the options here, which is how we can control our backup, let's go over to the Schedules tab because I want to show you how to create an automatic backup system. If we go to our Templates button here, there's an Automatic Backups option. This is a template that will create an offsite backup every 6 hours, and we can just use this template for our convenience. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I want to show you how to make a manual one. Let's go to Create Schedule. So we can call this Daily Backup. We'll go down to Daily, so the schedule will run daily, every 1 day at, and remember, there's a time difference between your local time and UTC. So let's say I want it to run at 2 a.m. my time. I'll change this to 6 o'clock UTC, and now it'll run at 2 a.m. my time. We probably want to toggle off only when server is online, because even if the server is offline, we probably still want to be taking a daily backup just to make sure. And then we can just hit Create Schedule, and then let's add a new task with the action to create backup. And we'll just hit Create Task. And so now we have a daily backup automatic schedule that will run every day at 2 a.m. local time or 6 a.m. UTC, and our server will be backed up. Also, just one more reminder that if you are maxed out on your number of backups, the oldest unlocked backups will be overwritten with the new backups taken by the schedule. Okay, let's go back up to the Backups tab, and let's go over some of the different options that we can use with our backups. So if we open the drop-down menu here, we can do some typical things like we can download our backup to our computer. We can also rename our backup. We can lock the backup. So if I click that, a little lock indicator will show here, and now the backup won't be automatically wiped if it's old enough. Let me unlock it for now. Yes, unlock. You also can't manually delete a backup if it's locked, and you can delete the backups by hitting this button. Now let's talk about restore and mount. If we click Restore, there are a few more options down here. The first one is remove all files and folders before restoring this backup. What this means is that your existing server files will be wiped before this backup is restored. We probably want to leave this on just so that things aren't overwriting each other weirdly. If it takes a while for your server to restore a backup, you can also click Notify Me via email once restored, and then we can hit Restore Backup. Now let's talk about how mounting works. If we click the Mount option, the same power action restrictions for your server apply as for a restart, and the difference is a restoration restores the entire backup. A mount is for when you want to take a specific file or a specific subset of files and restore just those to your current server files. So there's a mount path here, which is the /backup folder, but you can change that if you want. And what this is the path in your file manager where you can access the mounted backup. So if I click Mount Backup here, you'll notice it says Backup Mounted. A backup is currently mounted to the server. And so you can access it via the file manager or your SFTP client. So let's go to our file manager, and you'll notice that there's a backup folder here now. If we click that, you will see a carbon copy of the files backed up in the backup. So if we want to restore, let's say, the EULA file, we can go over here to the 3 dots on the right, and we can click Restore, and that will restore it to the original location where it was before it was backed up in your file directory. We can also copy the file, or we can just download the file to our computer. To unmount the backup, go back to your Backups tab and hit Unmount Backup. When a backup is mounted, you cannot start your server just to prevent file conflicts. So let's click Unmount Backup, and now our backup is unmounted. There is one other method that we can use to download our backups. We won't go over it in this video, but just to give a brief overview, there's a tool called Clumsy Loader that allows you to download your backups to your local computer or a VPS. It involves essentially downloading the Clumsy Loader program, which you can then run on a schedule if you want some more fine-tuning over how often your backups are downloaded to various locations. Again, we'll do a different video about that. I will also link the article to Clumsy Loader in the description below. But for now, that's pretty much it. Hopefully now you're an expert at backing up your Bluehost server files and keeping your server secure. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below or join our Discord server, link in the description, and we'll answer those questions to the best of our ability. If you want to watch more Bluehost tutorial videos, there's also the playlist to all of them, link in the description below. That is it again for this video. Thank you for choosing Bluehost, and we'll see you in the next tutorial video.